Nigel Barker and 15 Carl Harrison. And today's referee is Mr. DJ Carter of Witness.
I didn't know he had a ball there.
And before the kick-off today, there will be a presentation to Rovers stand-off Graham Stedman. The presentation taking place before the kick-off is to Rovers stand-off Graham Stedman, and it's the presentation of his Yorkshire cap. And making the presentation is Richard Evans, the Featherstone Rovers chairman. Well done, Graham.
Has he got that? Somebody give me that, I don't know. Derek, can I say Richard, that if any player gets injured, just want to get the goal to him, but he's no tackling. There comes up. 8. Pete. Is it on?
Are you alright there, John?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah.
It's not up to me, she wants to keep me warm. Is that alright?
Yeah. See him there and going down with the ball there.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, welcome to Bolstoffice Road for the Stonesbitter Championship game between Featherstone Rovers and St Helens. Both teams having to come onto the pitch there. The referee, Mr. Dave Carter of Widnes. Derek Fox just beginning to kick off. St Helens have won the toss. Their captain there, Paul Vortin, decided to play as we look at the pitch from right to left. So Derek Fox getting the game underway. First game for Featherstone for a fortnight. They didn't play last week due to Wigan playing in the John Player final. St Helens last week having had a good win at home to Leeds. So both sides desperately needing points this afternoon. Featherstone to keep out of that bottom 3 relegation zone, and St Helens fighting for the championship line in 4th position in the table. So it's St Helens already. Neil Olin there kicking for that touchline side there. Fantastic kick there by Neil Olin, finding touch. About 15 yards from that Featherstone Rovers try line. Ian Smells there just getting the ball, just go through the teams. Number 1 there for Featherstone Rovers, Chris Bibb. Ian Smells number 2, number 3 Alan Banks, Paul Newell of number 4. Number 5 Danny Beach. Half-backs are Graham Stedman and Derek Fox. Forwards are Jeff Grayson, Trevor Clark, Glenn Bell, Chris Burton and Paul Hughes and Peter Smith. The ball's out there to Derek Fox to Graham Stedman there, trying to go around his opposite number there, Shane Cooper. And the substitutes are Nigel Barker and Carl Harrison. So it's Featherstone Rovers now in possession of the ball there. Glenn Bell trying to make his own 25-yard line but being pushed back. Gets up, plays the ball. Glenn Bell now, first touch of the ball. Got strong run that by the New Zealand prop forward there. Glenn Bell playing in the number 10 shirt this afternoon. So Derek Fox there inside there to Peter Smith, but it's got St Helens tackling this first few minutes of play there. Number 10 there, Stuart Evans. Stopping play, so it's Paul Hughes trying to go down the middle. Is it Paul Hughes? Chris Burton there, number 11, playing his first match for Featherstone Rovers this afternoon. Having been transferred from OKR in a swap deal with Paul Hyman last weekend in a £55,000 deal. So it's Graham Stedman, that kick there, just beating Les Quirk there, the St Helens number 5. The St Helens team this afternoon is number 1 Phil Vevers, number 2 Dave Tanner, Michael O'Connor, Paul Lawton, Les Quirk, Shane Cooper and Neil Olding halfbacks. Forwards are Tony Burt, Paul Gross, Stuart Evans, Bernard Dwyer, Roy Haggerty and Paul Vortin. And substitutes are Darren Blow and John Harrison. So it's a scrum down on that St Helens 25-yard line. Neil Olding feeding the scrum. It's out to St Helens. That long ball there from Shane Cooper. Trying to get Paul Laughlin on a run, but Graham Stedman makes the tackle. Very fast 3/4 as St Helens, but the referee pulling Graham Stedman up straight away, not allowing number 4 there, Paul Laughlin, to play the ball. Mr Carter there stamping out already on this. Holding on to the man being tackled. Paul Laughlin there wanted to get up to play the ball quickly. But how many times have we seen this at Bolstoffice Road today with this season where referees are inconsistent, just for that instance there, Mr Carter there, penalising Graham Steadman for just laying on that a little bit longer than he should have done. So it's Paul Laughlin about 2 yards inside his own half of the field. Placing the ball. Got a very strong wind behind his back here. Here he goes, strikes it well, he's got the height, has he got the direction? He sure has, straight between the middle. St Helens 2, Featherstone Rovers 0. So that will be surely a sickener for Featherstone Rovers in these first few minutes. Paul Laughlin got his kicking boots on already. That very strong kick from inside his own half, straight between the middle of the posts. St Helens 2, Featherstone Rovers 0. So it's St Helens now camped in their own 25-yard area now, trying to bring this ball away. It's up to Rovers to keep them down there, keep tackling them. So it's Paul Groves there from acting half back there to trying to get his forwards going, but got tackling by Rovers there. Derek Fox round the bootlaces, can't go way out the legs in this game. So it's Neil Holding that once again, that strong kick downfield, that's how strong this wind is, but Ian Smell's back for the ball this time. Takes it in his own 25-yard area, running it out. But a good tackle there, brilliant tackle there by St Helens number 2 there, David Tanner, bringing Ian Smells down. So it's Glenn Bell now trying to make progress to the halfway line, but being pushed back. So it's Trevor Clark acting up at now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox going solo there, trying to go down the middle, but Derek Fox being hustled to the ground. That's the third tackle. Trevor Clark now, Peter Smith there, just knocking the ball on, so it's a scrum down. Virtually on that Featherstone Rovers 25-yard line. It'll be number 7 for St Helens, Neil Holding, to feed the scrum. But there again, St Helens being penalised at that scrum. Referee not happy, somebody mouthing back, so another 10 yards. Number 9 there, Paul Groves, mouthing to the referee, so that's another 10 yards Featherstone Rovers. So Graham Steadman with that penalty kick. No need for that. St Helens in a good position at that scrum. So it's Trevor Clark. This tap penalty now to number 10 there, Glenn Bell. Glenn Bell running it in strong. Gets rid of the ball in the tackle there to Trevor Clark, to Derek Fox there, to Jeff Grayson. Jeff Grayson being held up in the tackle. Number 11 there around him, Bernard Dwyer, but Jeff Grayson gets up, plays the ball. Trevor Clark now, Trevor Clark feeding the blind side there to Chris Burton. Chris Burton there losing the ball, Paul Vorts in the tackle. So it's Roy Haggerty now, long ball out there, looks like a forward pass, drawn there. But like 2 or 3 officially forward pass, but referee says play on. Phil Beaver's going down the middle. Phil Beaver's still on a strong run, but being wrapped up there by number 11 there, Chris Burton. So it's St Helens throwing this ball about. Fatty Vortin with the ball now. Plays the ball back, so it's St Helens throwing this ball about. Paul Groves with the ball now in the middle of the field, getting a bit lost, but Featherstone Rovers tacklers crowding round him. It's Chris Burton there and Paul Hughes making the tackle. Paul Groves going from acting half back, but Jeff Grayson to the fore there making the tackle. Gets up, plays the ball quickly. Looking round, Neil Holdings going from acting half back, but Peter Smith wrapping him up. Beautiful tackle that by the Featherstone Rovers, loose forward. So it's Shane Cooper, that big up and under there across the middle of the park there. Paul Ulov underneath it. Paul Ulov got a clear run here. Paul Ulov on the long run. Brilliantly took that by the centre. Playing his first full game in the centre this afternoon, but Derek Fox there knocking the ball on.
What are we doing?
So it'll be number 7, Neil Holding, to feed the scrum. One again the head there, once again for Featherstone Rovers. Trevor Clark winning that ball again, the head again, Paul Groves. Well, it's Featherstone Rovers in possession. Back 10 yards from the halfway line. Trevor Clark with the ball now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there to Paul Hughes. Paul Hughes wrapped up there by number 11 there, Bernard Dwyer. So it's Derek Fox with the ball now, back inside there to Peter Smith. Peter Smith there, tackled by number 8, Tony Burke. Very strong side, St Helens side, every star name there. Derek Fox through the gap, Derek Fox looking for the ball, Chris Bibb there on his shoulder. But Derek Fox there, never looked for Chris Bibb, he just... So it's Graham Stedman now to Jeff Grayson there, good backing up that. Alan Banks fighting to get up to play this ball to Peter Smith there to Graham Stedman, that little kick through, it's all on Paul Newell after that ball. But Neil Holding there picking it up for St Helens. Both St Helens and Featherstone Rovers got a man off injured. Paul Hughes there just having treatment to his arm, and number 11 there for St Helens, Bernard Dwight coming to the dugout for some treatment. Still it's St Helens with the ball on their own 25-yard line. Featherstone Rovers there pinching the ball in the tackle, so Featherstone Rovers pressure once more on this St Helens line. So it's Derek Fox with the ball, Derek Fox there to Trevor Clark back inside there to Paul Newell, and Paul Newell scores a try! Well, as I've been saying, Featherstone Rovers there, Paul Newell been itching to get that number 4 shirt on all the season, and Peter Fox today has had to play him in the centre today. We've been short of 3 quarters, and that's just what it's paid off. Paul Newell there, second touch of the ball, scores the try. Featherstone Rovers 4, St Helens 2, and this conversion to come from Graham Stedman. So here we go, Graham Stedman getting ready to come. The touch judge is just ready to put the flags up there, and the ball hits the post. That could be costly at the end of this game, so it's Featherstone Rovers 4, St Helens 2. So it'll be number 4 for St Helens kicking off there. Paul Laughlin kicking the ball deep. Going it up there by Ian Smells. That bad bouncing ball, running it out of his own 25-yard line. But being dragged back, but at about 20 yards with that ball. Ian Smells before they've dragged him down. So it's Rovers there, Paul Vortin there in the tackle. All the way from Australia, Manly. So it's Glenn Bell trying to make progress to his own 25-yard line. Once again, that Paul Grove making the tackle, so it's Peter Smith down the middle, but good, strong St Helens tackling. Number 13 there, Paul Vortin making the tackle, so it's Jeff Grayson there being held up in the tackle. Number 12 there, Roy Haggerty involved with that, and number 11 there, Dwyer. But it's Featherstone Rovers, Derek Fox there, back to Graham Stedman, that big boat downfield against the wind, and look where that ball's gone.
To kick it down the middle of the downfield.
So that was the last tackle, so that kick there by Graham Stedman going straight into touch, putting Featherstone Rovers under a tremendous amount of pressure here, leading by 4 points to 2. So it's number 10 there, Big Stuart Evans, signed from Welsh Rugby Union back 2 seasons ago. There, number 8 there, Tony Burke having a goal, throwing this ball, trying to throw this ball about, Neil Holding through the gap, but beautiful tackle that by Featherstone Rovers there. Jeff Grayson there following that move all the way, made the desperate last tackle, so it's Roy Haggerty now, Roy Haggerty dinking one way to Neil Holding. Neil Holding there, St Helens looking dangerous with this ball. Number 4 there, Paul Laughlin picking that loose ball up. Featherstone Rovers still on the racks here. St Helens putting all this pressure on this Featherstone Rovers try line. That's a good tackle there by Glenn Bell, bringing the man down. 2 legs there, so referee there spotting knock on, so it's a scrum down inside that Rovers 25-yard line. It'll be Derek Fox to feed this scrum. St Helens front row there, not getting down in the pack. Referee blowing his whistle. Paul Grove still up in the pack. Penalty to St Helens there. Featherstone front row not getting back when the referee told him to do so. That's the first tackle for St Helens there. St Helens number 12 there, Roy Haggerty running the ball in strong, but number 10 there, Glenn Bell making the tackle. So it's Paul Grove there, back to Neil Holding, back inside there to Paul Laughlin, but Trevor Clark there picking him up in the tackle, and Paul Hughes round him so he won't pass the ball out. That's good tackling by Featherstone Rovers. They've got to stop the man in the ball. Paul Vorton with the ball now, back inside there. This is good tackling by Featherstone, good play by St Helens. Yards from that Featherstone Rovers try line, but a bad mistake there. It's all on Chris Pitt picking that loose ball up. Chris Pitt coming down the middle. That's the first tackle. Featherstone Rovers 4, St Helens 2. The atmosphere is building up in this ground already. So it's Jeff Grayson now. No, it's to Glenn Bell. Glenn Bell trying to make strides down that middle there. Glenn Bell losing the ball in the tackle. St Helens possession. But beautiful tackle there by Paul Hughes stopping that moment. But St Helens, Roy Haggerty now turning back inside. He should have let the ball go along the line. That St Helens had got overlap on this wing, but Roy Haggerty decided to turn back inside. So it's Shane Cope with the ball now to number 3 there, Michael O'Connor. Beautiful tackle that. Glenn Bell stopping man and ball. Michael O'Connor gets up to play the ball. He felt that tackle with that Michael O'Connor. Then another gut tackle there once more, this time by Peter Smith. But I'm just looking at Michael O'Connor going back really groggily there, but Danny Beats here with that ball. Well, that was a try out of nothing there. Les Quirk onto that ball. Absolutely flew there, did Les Quirk. All he wanted was a Featherstone Rovers play to put the boot to the ball, but Les Quirk there made a try out of nothing there, just dived on that ball there from that Neil Holding kick. So it's all Laughlin trying to convert that try, and once again I've just said he got his kicking boots on and he sure has. You can't get better kicking than that, no matter where you go all over the world. Paul Horton there converting that Les Quirk try. So it's St Helens 8, Featherstone Rovers 4. So it's Derek Fox there restarting this game. Big kick downfield. Once again, Tanner there just traps it with his futsole, picks the ball up, so it's St Helens in possession. That's the first tackle. Right inside their own 25-yard area. Tried to beat away there, Glenn Bell making the tackle right round the boat laces. Paul Hughes on top, so it's St Helens possession now. Paul Groves there switching direction to Neil Holding. Neil Holding that big kick downfield once again. St Helens using this win in this first half. Very strong wind, so Ian Smales having to run back, picks it up in his own 25-yard area. Just slips there on the greasy turf, just trying to run it out, but being 2 or 3 St Helens players round him. Trying to get up to play the ball. Chris Pibb there going for Martin Hart back. Chris Pibb going down the middle, but no way through. Good tackling there by Paul Vorton there, the St Helens loose forward. So it's Peter Smith with the ball now, but Peter Smith there running into number 8, Tony Burke. Oh, Trevor Clark now from Martin Harpack. It's all on the ball, went back. So it's Derek Fox from Martin Harpack now there to Jeff Grayson. Jeff Grayson trying to run down the middle, but being tied up. Featherstone Rovers going nowhere. That's the must be the last tackle there. So Derek Fox with the ball now back there to Graham Stedman. Graham Stedman, plenty of time in the world to kick this ball downfield, and that's a good kicking in the wind, but Phil Beaver's right underneath it. Brilliantly took that there by the St Helens fullback. trying to run it out. Quick play the ball there, tackle by Paul Hughes, but Neil holding down the middle, but beautiful tackle there by Derek Fox. See to play the ball on his knees, the referee wasn't looking, that should have been a penalty, but the referee wasn't looking that time. Roy Haggerty with the ball now, Roy Haggerty trying to go down the middle, but Paul Hughes tackle there. Tony Burke get that ball out there to Paul Vortin, back inside there to Michael O'Connor, Michael O'Connor across field, Michael O'Connor still going. But Jeff Grayson makes the tackle. We're getting back to that Neil Holding, play the ball there, the referee didn't seem to be looking. Say play on, so Paul Vortin there with the ball, but tackled by Trevor Clark. St Helens here throwing everything at Featherstone Rovers. Neil Holding, drop kick attempt at goal, but the ball going wide. So it's a Featherstone Rovers tap out on the own 25-yard line. Game's fast and furious here at Post Office Road. It's still St Helens 8, Featherstone Rovers 4. Just waiting for the loose ball to go off the field, so it's Trevor Clark there now to Glenn Bell. Glenn Bell getting rid of the ball there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox pushing 2 men off. Derek Fox looking for his wingman. Derek Fox through the gap. Derek Fox on the long run. Derek Fox dummying Phil Beavers, but Phil Beavers won't stand the dummy. That's a good break by Derek Fox. Good ball there by Glenn Bell. Good tackling by Phil Beavers. Paul Hughes with the ball now. But Paul Hughes being tackled back 15 yards inside that St Helens, like half of the field. Graham Stemmer with the ball. Graham Stemmer back inside there to Chris Bibb. Chris Bibb trying to go down the middle, but Roy Haggerty's. Paul Vortin making the tackle. So it's Alan Banks now. Alan Banks there to Graham Stemmer. Graham Stemmer, long ball out there to number 10, Glenn Bell. Glenn Bell there looking to pass with the ball, but 2 or 3 St Helens players around him, so it's Graham Stemmer with the ball. Graham Stemmer looking for players to Peter Smith. Peter Smith there going down the middle. So it's Trevor Clark acting up at now. Trevor Clark there to Graham Stemmer. Graham Stemmer, that big open under, the ball's going back in the wind, but it's all on. Phil Beavers there just pouncing on that loose ball. So once again it's St Helens' turn to start doing the pressing on this Featherstone Rovers defence, about 20 yards inside their own half of the field. So there we are, referee there just pulling out Stuart Evans for that tackle on Jeff Grayson. Penalty to Featherstone Rovers. So it's Derek Fox to Trevor Clark, back to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there to Paul Hughes. Paul Hughes going through the gap, get it out to one tackle, but just failing to get to his feet. So it's Alan Banks acting up at now. Alan Banks there, long short ball out there to Trevor Clark. Trevor Clark being held up in the tackle, gets up, plays the ball to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there now, there to Peter Smith. Peter Smith trying to create a position to Featherstone to work a move in now. Trevor Clark with the ball now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox, that long ball out there now to Paul Newell. Paul Newell through the gap again. Just tackled inches short. So here smells that long ball out there now to Chris Bibb. Chris Bibb there, that's a knock on. Referee says play on. But that was the 6th and last tackle, so it's the changeover. So the score still remains Featherstone Rovers 4, St Helens 8. So St Helens now trying to throw this ball about in their own 25-yard area, trying to go down the middle, but Featherstone Rovers forwards got to keep on tackling, keep them down in that area. So it's Neil Holding with the ball now, trying to pass the ball on the line, but Peter Smith there making the tackle. Quick play the ball now, so it's Paul Vortin with the ball. Paul Vortin trying to run it out, but Chris Burton there got the measure of him. Jeff Grayson also involved in the tackle. So it's that long ball out there now to Neil Holding. It's all on, the ball's bounced. Featherstone Rovers in possession there. Chris Burton diving for that ball. So it's Featherstone over now. Graham Stemmer run to work here to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there to Glenn Bell. But number 10 there, Stuart Evans making the tackle. So Graham Stemmer there going from acting up. Graham Stemmer through the gap. Graham Stemmer still going. Losing the ball. Graham Steadman there trying to go down the middle, trying to pass the ball away in the tackle, but Featherstone Rovers player touched it and a Featherstone Rovers player picked the ball on. The referee judging him offside, so it's a penalty to St Helens. So that big kick there, so it's St Helens on the attack there, 10 yards inside their own half of the field, so it's Jeff Grayson there and Glenn Bell making the tackle just about on the halfway line. That's the first tackle. Sam Evans now coming from a deep position. So that's the second tackle now. St Helens, Neil Holding there trying to bring Patty Vortin onto the ball. Paul Vortin through the gap. Paul Vortin on the long run. That's good play by Paul Vortin. But it's all on Chris Bibb there getting that ball. That was good play there by Paul Vortin and Neil Holding going down the middle, and Phil Beavers. Paul Hughes with the ball now, trying to go down the middle, but Dwyer there with that shoulder high tackle, bringing Paul Hughes to the ground. So it's Trevor Clark now from Acton Half to Jeff Grayson. Jeff Grayson there to Glenn Bell. Glenn Bell tackle 15 yards short of that halfway line. Gets up, plays the ball to Trevor Clark, to Derek Fox. Derek Fox trying to go down the middle to Graham Steadman. Graham Steadman looking raw way. Glenn. So it's Trevor Clark now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there to Jeff Grayson, to Derek Fox there. But that looked a bit high. Number 11 there, Bernard Dwyer round the neck. Roy Haggerty, referee calling Roy Haggerty out there. Like a very high tackle to Peter Smith there, round the neck. Referee just cautioning him, but referees was instructed. Fortnight to go, cut out on this head-high tackling. We saw two incidents down here a fortnight to go, two sin bins, but the referee is letting Roy Haggerty stop on the field. So it's Trevor Clark with the ball now to Derek Fox there to Glenn Bell, once again round the neck, once again. Once again, Glenn Bell gets up to play the ball slowly, but Paul Hughes with the ball now, but Paul Hughes being tackled there by Paul Vortin. Gets up, plays the ball, Trevor Clark to Derek Fox now there to Jeff Grayson. Jeff Grayson trying to make headway towards that St Helens 25-yard line, but 2 or 3 St Helens players round him. Gets up, plays the ball, Derek Fox, that long ball out there to Graham Steadman. Graham Steadman being confronted there by Neil Holding, but Neil Holding there pushing Graham Steadman back inside. St Helens moving up very, very quickly indeed. So it's Derek Fox there to Peter Smith. Peter Smith, that long ball out there, interception though, but Chris Bibb making the tackle. So it's Paul Groves with the ball now to Roy Haggerty. Roy Haggerty running on this touchline side. Running in front of the crowd of the supporters, so he knows he's all right. Paul Groves with the ball now to Neil Holding. Neil Holding, that long ball out there to number 6, Shane Cooper. Good tackling by Featherstone Rovers there. Peter Smith especially moving up very, very quickly. Phil Beavers with the ball there. Neil Holding with the ball going down the middle. But once again, Derek Fox making the tackle. Glenn Bell making sure he will tackle. So it's St Helens still with the ball on the halfway line now. Phil Beavers with the ball, turning back inside. Gets his pass out there to Sam Evans. Sam Evans back there to Phil Beavers. Going down the middle, back inside there to Paul Laughlin. St Helens are throwing this ball about. So to Featherstone to bloody kill the ball. So it's Graham Steadman there just wrapping his arms around him. That's the last tackle. So it's the changeover. Get the ball played quickly. So it's Chris Burton tackled with the ball 5 yards inside his own half of the field. So it's Glenn Bell, but being tackled on the halfway line. Number 13 there, Paul Vortin makes the tackle. So Trevor Clark going from acting half back, fumbling the ball, but still picks it up cleanly. Glenn Bell from acting half back now to Jeff Grayson, back to Derek Fox to Paul Hughes, but Paul Hughes on a run down the middle. Paul Hughes still going, just had to check his stride that little bit. wide there, just hanging on at the tackle. So it's Graham Stedman now. Graham Stedman, anybody looking for the ball, back there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox made himself available, going down the middle. That's good play by Derek Fox there, made himself available from that pass from Graham Stedman. So it's Graham Stedman with the ball, that little kick through. It's all on. Paul Newell seemed to be in pain of going for that ball, but number 2 there, David Tanner, good positioning by the St Helens wingman, getting that kick through there from Graham Stedman. So it's St Helens with the ball now, trying to bring it up to their own 25-yard line. Chris Burton making the tackle. So it's St Helens on their own 25-yard line, trying to throw this ball about. Neil Olin through the gap. That's the speed that this man's got. But Derek Fox makes the tackle. Beautiful tackle that by Derek Fox, but Neil Olin. So once again we've seen 2 instances in the last 5 minutes where Featherstone Rovers have been trying to get up to play the ball quickly. The referee saying OK, and Derek Fox there making the tackle on Neil Olin, and Derek Fox getting penalised for that tackle on Neil Olin. Penalty to St Helens. So it's Paul Laughlin just about on the halfway line. 2 out to 2, up to press. 2 difficult kicks, two kicks at goal, 2 conversions. So here he goes. He's after his hat-trick. He's after 3 on the trot. The ball's just gone that wide all that time. But Chris Bibb takes that ball. Looking into the sun, that must have been a difficult ball to take, but Chris Bibb never took his eye off it. So the score remains Featherstone Rovers 4, St Helens 8. And just as I've said that, when he awarded Paul Laughlin a penalty there from that tackle by Derek Fox, he awards Featherstone Rovers a penalty, but previously to that, I've always said that 2 wrongs never make a right. Featherstone Rovers have been pressing on that St Helens 25-yard line for long periods in this first half, fighting to get up to play the ball, and the referees let it St Helens lay on. So it's Graham Stedman now, so it's number 10 there, Glenn Bell. Glenn Bell trying to make strides down this middle of the park, taking the St Helens forward zone. Plays the ball to himself. Glenn Bell still going on his own. Turn it to Trevor Clark, and Trevor Clark scores a try. Absolutely fantastic thinking there by the Rovers number 10 there, Glenn Bell, to put number 9 in there. Trevor Clark in for a try. Two New Zealanders there working together. Well, I know that Peter Fox, the Featherstone Rovers coach, doesn't like the player playing the ball to themselves, but on that occasion it called for it. Glenn Bell there left without a marker, and he had to play that ball to himself, and he had a free run there, and who was backing him up? The ever-present there, Trevor Clark. Must be one of the best support players in playing the Rugby League today, just to take that short pass and dive over that try line to put Featherstone Rovers back in this game. Featherstone Rovers 8, St Helens 8. And with Graham Stedman's conversion to come, here he goes. He must take his time with his penalty kick. It's a flapper, but it's gone between the posts. Featherstone Rovers 10, St Helens 8. So it's Paul Laughlin just getting ready to kick this ball off. The ball's bouncing. But what a terrible bounce that was for the player to take over his own line. So once again, that kick-off from St Helens there, putting Featherstone under pressure straight away. So Graham Stedman, that flapper down the field, straight to Roy Haggerty's arms. So that quick play of the ball, Stuart Evans there diving for that try line, being dragged inches back. So it's number 7 now, Shane Cooper. Number 7, Neil Olin there to Paul Vortin, that there to Freevers. That looked like a forward pass from here, but referee wasn't in line. Like a well forward pass there from Vilvever, so it's Swigert now trying to make strides towards still that Featherstone Rovers try line, but this is good tackling by Featherstone Rovers on a tremendous amount of pressure. So it's Shane Cooper now there to Stuart Evans. Stuart Evans scores the try. Number 10 there, Stuart Evans scores a try for St Helens. So where they are, that kick-off coming from that 1 minute, Trevor Clark was scoring for Featherstone Rovers, Graham Stedman converting that kick-off from the halfway line. That ball just managed to be knocked on over the Featherstone Rovers try line there, knock on, so as a drop out. Roy Haggerty took the ball, and from all that pressure there, Paul Laughlin there with the conversion, and he's missed the easiest kick of the afternoon. So the score remains now St Helens 12, Featherstone Rovers 10. As I was just saying, the ball was switched right, and it looked to me like a forward pass by a long way, but the referee is not in a position to see the forward pass, so he let play go on, and Stuart Evans from the quick play of the ball near the Featherstone Rovers try line dived over the line to put St Helens 12 points to 10 in front. So Derek Fox there, that long kick down, well took there by David Tanner, running it out. Paul Hughes makes the tackle. So once again, that's the first tackle, so this is St Helens still in their own 25-yard line. Featherstone Rovers playing. So it's Tony Burt there trying to make headway up to that halfway line, but Derek Fox making the tackle. So it's Paul Groves from acting up now to Roy Haggerty, but Peter Smith makes the tackle. Paul Groves with the ball now to Neil Holding. Neil Holding looking to kick the ball straight downfield, but Ian Smells there back Featherstone Rovers. Ian Smells just letting the ball roll and roll, picks it up in his own 25-yard area, trying to run it out. 2 or 3 St Helens players there around him making the tackle. So it's Chris Bibb now, Chris Bibb there now to Glenn Bell. Glenn Bell going down the middle, going through two men there. Had a fine first half, Glenn Bell, this afternoon. It's Trevor Clark with the ball now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox, that long ball out there to Graham Stedman. Graham Stedman there to Alan Banks. Alan Banks having to turn back inside, going down the middle. Alan Banks gets out of 2 or 3 tacklers that time. Tackle about 10 yards short of the halfway line. So it's Peter Smith there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there. Beautiful play that bit back there to Graham Stedman. Graham Stedman being marked well this afternoon. Michael O'Connor making the tackle. So it's Trevor Clark now there to number 11 there, Chris Burton. Chris Burton there to Paul Newlove. That's better play by Featherstone Rovers. More direct play, so it's Derek Fox with the ball. That little kick through, it's all on. Les Quirk having to turn round for this ball now, picking the ball up inside his own 25-yard line. Les Quirk, the ex-Barrow wingman, second row forward, playing on the wing for St Helens this afternoon. So it's Paul Laughlin with the ball now, trying to make strides to that halfway line, but Peter Smith, Jeff Grayson making the tackle. So it's Roy Haggerty once again working this stand side now, looking for the support from his supporters and from his players. Gets up, plays the ball on the halfway line. Paul Groves with the ball now to number 6, Shane Cooper, to Dwyer there to number 13, Paul Vortin back inside, but it's good tackling by Featherstone Rovers. Going out, the ball is offside. Referee spotting that. Just about 3.5 minutes left for playing this first half. St Helens just holding on to 12 points to 10 lead. So it's Trevor Clark, that quick play of the ball once again to that Glenn Bell. Worked well in this first half as of Rovers number 10, so it's Jeff Grayson with the ball now. Jeff Grayson dumping one way, dumping the other. Jeff Grayson going down the middle.
Yeah, it's not a penalty at all.
So Trevor Clark switching the blind side now to Graham Stedman. Graham Stedman trying to open them up. Tackle about 10 yards short of that St Helens try line. So it's Derek Fox with the ball now. Derek Fox, that long ball out there to Paul Hughes there to Chris Bibb. But Chris Bibb there just tackled, fighting to get to play the ball. So it's Paul Hughes going from acting half back. This must be the last tackle.
Drop goal, get a drop goal.
So Derek Fox now. Derek Fox, that long ball out there to Peter Smith. Peter Smith losing the ball in the back.
Back to one, mate. Bring the ball. Rubbish, referee. Bloody hell, they pinched that ball there.
Well, let off for St Helens there. Peter Smith there going for that try line, seemed to have the ball snatched from his hand, but the referee says no. So it's the change over. There's a last tackle.
That was definitely 6-4 there.
So Paul Hughes there, Glenn Bell making the tackle. End up to play the ball. Paul Groves going from acting half back now, back inside there to Roy Haggerty. Gets his pass away in the tackle though. This is a good play by St Helens, throwing the ball about. Michael O'Connor running down the wing. But Michael O'Connor being dragged down there by Paul Newlove. Gets up, plays the ball. So it's all on the ball in the air, but Ian Smales takes that ball out of thin air, one arm. That's confidence for you. So Featherstone Rovers possession now, 10 yards inside the own half of the field. Derek Fox with the ball. Derek Fox there to Chris Bibb. Chris Bibb trying to go down the middle. Chris Bibb through the hole. Chris Bibb taking Neil holding on. Chris Bibb good backing up there by Peter Smith. This is a better player for the Rovers. Derek Fox, but nobody on this wing. Derek Fox looking for support. Derek Fox here to Danny Beach. Danny Beach having to go back inside to Chris Bibb. Chris Bibb going for that try line. Chris Bibb still going. That's good play by Rovers. Started by Chris Bibb there. Grainsted with the ball. Grainsted there to Trevor Clark. Trevor Clark there just couldn't get that ball out there. Number 10 there, Glenn Bell taking that ball. This must be the last tackle now. Number 8 there, Jeff Craigson there to Paul Hughes. Paul Hughes tackled 10 yards short of that try line. So it's Trevor Clark with the ball now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there to Peter Smith. Peter Smith back there. It's all still all on. Timekeeper got the ultra in his hands. This must be the last tackle now. Trevor Clark now there to Graham Stemmer. Graham Stemmer, that little kick through. But Tanner there waiting for that ball. Has he scored the try? He must have scored the try. He hasn't give it.
Bloody rubbish! Bloody rubbish! Got that ball. How can he not give that?
Well, there's a lot of controversial things going off in this first half. A lot to be desired. And look where I was from the commentary box that Paul Newlove had dived on that ball, but the referee said that Tanner had grounded it already, so it's that drop out now, and that's the half-time out today from Post Office Road. The half-time score, a try to Les Quirk, a try to Stuart Evans, 2 conversions by number 4 Paul Laughlin, and Paul Newlove trying a Graham Stedman goal and a Trevor Clark try. It's the half-time score to St Helens 12, Rovers 10. And just look at this crowd. Not very happy with this St Helens, with this witness referee in that first half performance.
Cheat, referee! Cheat! Bloody cheat! Cheat!
Come back to this second half, the Stonebridge Championship game. St Helens leading by 12 points to 10 at half-time. So that big kick there by Graham Stedman. Turning there, Les Quirk round there, but the ball just eluding him, just bouncing into touch. So it's a scrum down 10 yards from that St Helens try line. It'll be Neil Holding to feed the scrum. So the ball's out, it's out to St Helens. Trying to make strides down the middle, but gut tackling there by Chris Bibb. Michael O'Connor there, quick play the ball. So it's all on now, but Alan Banks there jumping up at the tackle there, making the tackle. Paul Newell also helping out. But it's Chris Burton there getting his shoulder behind the tackle, helped out there by Paul Newell. So it's St Helens now, 15 yards from that halfway line. Paul Vortin with the ball now, looking for runners. That long ball, that's a brilliant ball by Paul Vortin there to O'Loughlin on the run. But that ball there by Paul Vortin, absolutely fantastic ball that to Paul Loughlin. So St Helens there losing the ball. This Chris Burton picking that loose ball up for Featherstone Rovers. So it's James Stedman now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there, long ball out there to Peter Smith. Peter Smith there to Pornulov. Pornulov run to work up this left hand side. Pornulov there. Pornulov beating one man. Pornulov there beating Michael O'Connor. I thought this man was supposed to be past, but Pornulov there showing him a clean pair of heels. Derek Fox, long ball out there to Chris Bibb. Chris Bibb free throw there. Chris Bibb going for that try. Chris Bibb there looking for support. Beautiful play that by Chris Bibb. Getting up there, fighting to play that ball, and the St Helens man wouldn't let him get up to play that ball. So it's a penalty to Featherstone Rovers.
He don't know what to do, don't they? It's what goal, Graham.
So that bit of pressure there by Featherstone Rovers, especially that long run by Pornulov. James Stedman kicking that ball straight between the middle. Featherstone Rovers 12, St Helens 12.
It's about time we started doing this. They're using everything in the book, every switch.
Tell them to stand down. So it's a scrum down, that ball's out there to Shane Cooper to O'Loughlin there to Vevers coming up in the line. Vevers there shoving Chris Bibb up there to Michael O'Connor, but good tackling there by Rovers number 5 there, Danny Beach stopping that movement. So once again, Fish looking forward, pass to Roy Haggerty there to O'Loughlin, throw the gap, O'Loughlin there, turning back inside, O'Loughlin still going. Oh, that's good tackling, getting back there by Featherstone Rovers there. I think it was Graham Stedman making the tackle. Paul Loughlin looking dangerous every time he gets this ball. So the ball's in, it's hard to Featherstone Rovers. Derek Fox there dummying from the scrum. But Paul Vortin coming out of the scrum very quick like a good loose forward should do. So it's Graham Stedman going from acting half-back now. Brings play just about up to his own 25-yard line. That's the second tackle. Peter Smith now there to Chris Burton. So it's Derek Fox now there to Jeff Grayson. Dummy in one way, dummy in the other. But gut tackling this by St Helens, keeping Featherstone Rovers pinning the own half of the field. Derek Fox with the ball now. Derek Fox, that big boot downfield. Over Phil Vevers' head. The ball's rolling and rolling. Less quick there after that ball. But the ball just rolling there, touching dead. So it'll be tap penalty for St Helens on the own 25-yard line. St Helens getting back very, very slowly. Quick tap the ball there. Michael O'Connor with the ball, but it's a slack tackling there by Featherstone Rovers, allowing the man to run 10 yards further than he should have done. Gets up, plays the ball, so St Helens there. This is a second tackle, 10 yards short of that halfway line. Roy Haggerty there getting up to play the ball. Paul Groves acting half back now to Shane Cooper, back there to Paul Groves. That long ball out there to Neil Holding. Neil Holding looking back down. That crouching position is very fast as this scrum half. But number 11 there, Chris Burton, met him full on, dragged him back, gets up, plays the ball. And that's better tackling by Featherstone Rovers, but need I say no more. Peter Smith there making the tackle. Neil Holding, that big kick downfield, looking for that corner flag. The ball's rolling and rolling and rolling, but just going the touch in debt, so it'll be Featherstone Rovers' turn for this tap out on the own 25-yard line. Featherstone Rovers 12, St Helens 12. What a match we've got in our hands here at Post Office Road this afternoon. Everything to play for. So it's Glenn Bell once again, nearly through 2 tackles that time. Had a fine first half, this number 10. So it's Trevor Clark now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox, that long ball out there to Graham Stemman. Dancing one way, dancing the other. Graham Stemman still going. Graham Stemman going down the middle. Graham Stemman back inside, beats Phil Beavers. Looking for support, just couldn't get that ball out there to Paul Newlove. Gets up, plays the ball there to Trevor Clark from acting half-back. Back up to this St Helens 25-yard line. Derek Fox with the ball. First it's on one 25-yard line, then it's on the other. Alan Banks now looking for support. But Alan Banks just brought down on that St Helens 25-yard line. Peter Smith now to Derek Fox, back to Jeff Drake, to Derek Fox there to number 10, Glenn Bell. Glenn Bell back there, it's all on. Everybody fighting for that ball. The ball coming out to St Helens. That long ball out there from Shane Cooper. Neil Holding there, going down the middle. Dangerous every time he gets this ball, this scrum half. But Trevor Clark makes the tackle. Gets up, plays the ball. Paul Vorter with the ball now. He's trying to make headway to the halfway line. But Paul Hughes there making the tackle. Being dragged back there by Jeff Grayson also. Well, this game now there. First it's one way, then it's the other. Roy Haggerty losing the ball in the tackle. Roy Haggerty getting it back, so the referee says a scrum down. So it'll be a scrum down on the halfway line. It'll be Derek Fox to feed the scrum. A tremendous pace this game's been played in today at Post Office Road. Both sides really throwing the ball about. Graham Stemman there to Chris Bibb. Chris Bibb there trying to take Phil Beavers on, but Phil Beavers making a good tackle there. Graham Stemman acting half-back now, going down the middle. Graham Stemman there trying to throw a loose ball out there to Paul Hughes. Paul Hughes there to Alan Banks. Alan Banks there to Ian Smales. Ian Smales will just cool things down a little bit, just wants it steadying up that little bit. Number 9 there, Paul Groves making the tackle. Play the ball now to Trevor Clark, to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there to Chris Burton. But Chris Burton there trying to go down the middle, running to 2 prop forwards. So it's Jeff Tracy to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there to Peter Smith there to back in side, but beautiful. Like lightning, Glenn Bell with the ball now. Glenn Bell back inside there to Graham Stemman. Graham Stemman trying to straighten up. Anybody backing up? Yes, Derek Fox there. Tip-tap pass there back. Chris Burton brings play with about 20 yards of that. And oh, Danny Beach with the ball now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox, that big open under, it's all on. Phil Beavers underneath it, but the ball just that bit too long. So Featherstone Rovers must have to get back. St Helens will throw this ball out very quickly, this 25-yard line. Paul Newlove just having treatment there, but it's St Helens tapping that ball. That's how quick this game's going. Gets rid of that ball, Tony Bird to Dwyer. Dwyer going down the middle of the field, but Chris Burton here hanging on for all he's worth. Trevor Clark also involved in the tackle, getting up to his feet, plays the ball. Paul Groves with the ball now to Shane Cooper. Shane Cooper, the link man there to Paul Laughlin. Paul Laughlin going down the middle. Paul Laughlin through one tackle, but Graham Stemman there making the tackle. That ball looked a bit forward, but the referee says play on. So he's going to have to come back from the first defence, so it'll be a scrum down. It'll be Derek Fox to feed the scrum. Good break once again by Paul Laughlin. St Helens centre there.
Derek Fox to feed scrum. John, just mentioned on there we're having a bit of trouble with Mike.
So it's Graham Stemman now to Ian Smales coming off his wing to take that pass inside there, getting out to one tackle. Mike, he says. So that penalty kick there, that infringement on Ian Smales in that tackle. Graham Stemman, what a fantastic kick that was. From his own 25-yard line, he gains a good 50 yards with that kick, and the ball still going over the stand. So it's Trevor Clark with the tap penalty now to Glenn Bell. Glenn Bell trying to punch holes in this St Helens forwards. Featherstone Rovers 12, St Helens 12. Trevor Clark now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox, that long ball out there to Jeff Grayson. Jeff Grayson there being tackled on that St Helens 25-yard line. Paul Groves making the tackle. So it's Derek Fox now. Chris Burton's turn to drive it away, but his opposite number there, Bernard Dwyer, making the tackle. So it's Trevor Clark now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox to Jeff Grayson. Back there, no back there to Paul Hughes going down the middle, but watched all the way by that standoff half there. Shane Cooper, Paul Hughes watching that move all the way. So it's Derek Fox with the ball now there to Peter Smith. Peter Smith trying to bring his players onto the ball, just couldn't get his pass out. So it's Chris Bibb there, back there to Derek Fox. A drop goal attempt by Derek Fox. Where's the ball going? Just to the side of the post. It's all on. It's still all on! It's all on! So it's Paul Vortin with the ball now. Paul Vortin running down the middle of the field, but Trevor Clark there and Jeff Grayson making the tackle. Still it's St Helens in possession. Tony Burt now using the blind hand side, trying to push Paul Hughes up, but Paul Hughes keeping grab. Jeff Grayson makes sure he will tackle there, so it's Neil O'Neill with the ball now to Shane Cooper. Shane Cooper, that long ball out once again. Number 3 there, Michael O'Connor. Michael O'Connor running strongly, but gut tackling there by Alan Banks there, making the tackle. So it's Sean Cooper there, back there to O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin trying to make strides, but St Helens throwing this ball about. Roy Haggerty with the ball now. Roy Haggerty running down the middle, gets his pass out there to Neil Olin. It's up to Featherstone to keep stop this ball. It's all on. Graham stemming after that ball. It's all on. Graham stemming after it. But once again, Michael O'Connor just getting back to that ball. Is it Michael O'Connor or Les Quirk? But Graham Stemmen there just pouncing on that ball like a panther, just kicking it forward. That's a let off for St Helens. So that's the second tackle now. So it's St Helens now trying to bring this ball out of their own half of the field. It's Dwyer with the ball. That's the third tackle. So it's Shane Cooper now, the link man there to Paul Vortin. Paul Vortin running it in strong, but no support from St Helens. That's the fourth tackle. Two Kiwis here tackling him, Glenn Bell and Trevor Clark. So once again, that little run around there. Looks like an obstruction there. Danny Beats making the tackle. So it's Michael O'Connor now back there to it's all on. Oh, well done there by Paul Newell, just taking his hand away at that split second. Knew that was the last tackle. So it'll be a scrum down 10 yards inside Featherstone Rovers half of the field. It'll be Derek Fox to feed the scrum. The ball's in it. So once again, you could see what happened there at that scrum. Derek Fox putting the ball. It's hard to St Helens, putting St Helens on the attack here. Michael O'Connor turning Les Quirk back inside. Les Quirk just tackled here on that Featherstone Rovers 25-yard line. The ball coming out of the pack. The referee says play on, and Neil Holding there just diving on that loose ball. So it's Dwyer there just straightening things up now. The ball back to Shane Cooper. Back there, St Helens trying to make the thing to Paul Laughlin. Paul Laughlin, roam here to work. But the referee there spotting a forward pass, and just look at this crowd standing up.
Johnny Jones says he definitely dived on that ball. It certainly was definitely.
Dwyer though ground it first. Big Tanner ground it first.
It lost control, Joe.
So once again, it's another scrum. Derek Fox to feed the scrum. Ball front rows will not get down. Number 8 there, Tony Burke, and number 8, Jeff Grayson. Featherstone Rovers just having difficulties there, getting down in the scrum. The ball's in. It's hard to Featherstone Rovers. Grahamstown with the ball now. Grahamstown with that big kick upfield. Chris Bibb here on a chase. Chris Bibb there taking Phil Weavers on. Chris Bibb running for that ball. But Phil Weavers getting to that ball first. Brilliant play by the Australian fullback. So it's St Helens possession now once again. Forward with the ball, long ball out there to Neil Holding. Neil Holding crouching down, but Jeff Grayson there just making the tackle. Neil Holding getting slow to get to his feet now. Number 6 there, Shane Cooper, long ball out there to Phil Weavers. Michael O'Connor with the ball, coming more into the game down this Australian centre, getting rid of the ball to Phil Weavers. Back there to Roy Haggerty. St Helens still throwing this ball about. Roy Haggerty's trying to go down the middle, but Paul Hughes there making the tackle, hanging on as if his life depended on it. So it's St Helens on that halfway line. What a game here at Post Office Road. Featherstone Rovers 12, St Helens 12. Paul Groves jumping from acting halfback. Paul Groves turning round. But number 11 there, Chris Burton making the tackle. That's the tackle waste as far as St Helens are concerned now. So it's big strong run this, but beautiful tackle that. but he got further than what Featherstone Rovers hoped he wanted to get through, so it's still over the ball now to Shane Cooper. Shane Cooper now to Phil Beavers, that little kick through, it's all on the ball, just rolling and rolling into touch. So it'll be a scrum down about 20 yards from that Featherstone try line. It'll be Derek Fox to feed the scrum. Featherstone Rovers 12, St Helens 12. So the ball's in, it's out to Derek Fox to Grimestem, and Grimestem with that long ball out there to Paul Newlove. Paul Newlove there, but being tackled at his own 25-yard line. Very dangerous play by Featherstone Rovers. That's back to one. That little kick through. So it's Paul Newlove going from acting half-back now, having just to straighten things up a bit, but Tony Burt making the tackle. So it's Derek Fox. Derek Fox through the gap. Derek Fox, they've got strong run this. This has got strong run by Chris Burton, that back inside, but interception there by Sean Cooper. Sean Cooper there to Paul Laughlin. Now it's St Helens back on the attack. First it's one way, then it's the other. Paul Vortin there being tackled on that Featherstone Rovers 25-yard line. Now the St Helens row comes up 12 apiece. Everything to play for Roy Haggerty back inside. Paul Groves with the ball now. Paul Groves going one way, going the other. Paul Groves trying to get rid of the ball in the tackle, but no way through. Got Featherstone Rovers tackling. Number 10 there, Glenn Bell making that. So it's Neil loading now to Stuart Evans. Stuart Evans working this blind side, but Paul Newlove making the tackle. James Stedman also taps the ball to himself. Stuart Evans seems to have a marker. It's a penalty kick to Featherstone Rovers. Stuart Evans there had a marker. Graham Stedman was stood in front of him that time. So it'll be Graham Stedman with this penalty kick. So it's Trevor Clark now to Glenn Bell. Glenn Bell just shoving his own men out away to get that ball. So it's Derek Fox with the ball now. Derek Fox now there. Paul Hughes there, tackle about 10 yards short of that halfway line. That's the second tackle. So it's Derek Fox with the ball now to Peter Smith. Peter Smith trying to go down the middle, but that move watched all the way. Number 8 there, Tony Burke and Paul Vortin. Trevor Clark going from acting half-back. Trevor Clark back inside there to Derek Fox. That was good break back by Trevor Clark. Good backing up there by Derek Fox. So it's Trevor Clark there to Graham Stedman. Graham Stedman trying to straighten things up. So it's Trevor Clark now to Derek Fox. This is the last tackle. Derek Fox to tipped at goal. Just underneath the bar, the referee right on the spot. Oh, the crowd behind the sticks then have got P. Shooter sucking that ball over, but the ball just dropping over beneath the bar, so it's St Helens' turn to bring it out to their own 25-yard area. That's the first tackle. Jeff Grayson involved in the tackle. So it's Tony Burke. He'll run it in all day with Tony Burke. Nick Sleet's player, Tony Burke. Glenn Bell making the tackle. So it's Shane Cooper now trying to get Phil Beavers on the run. Phil Beavers trying to link up there to Paul Laughlin. Paul Laughlin turning back inside. Paul Laughlin still going, trying to get the ball there to Les Quirk, but Featherstone Rovers just won't let him get that pass out. Every time this Laughlin gets the ball, it's very, very dangerous indeed, but beautiful tackle that by Jeff Grayson, stopping man and ball. 10 yards inside this Featherstone Rovers after the field. Shane Cooper with the ball now, back there to Paul Vortin. Paul Vortin, one arm pass there, it's all on. He's lost the ball also. That's Featherstone Rovers' ball. That's determination to Paul Newlove. Paul Newlove's determination run that. But brilliant once again there about that. Featherstone Rovers, number 10, Glenn Bell. And he's looking for this ball once again to run it in. Graham Stedman with the ball. Graham Stedman there trying to take him on. But Paul Hughes there taking that ball with a man round him. Took it well. Well, what a match we've got on his hands here at Post Office Road. Jeff Grace with the ball. Back there to Derek Fox. It's all on. Dummy in one way, dummy in the other. Tony Burt finally made the tackle. So the Featherstone row comes up now. Graham Stedman with the ball. Graham Stedman running wide. Graham Stedman there. Paul Newlove now from acting half-back. Paul Newlove now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox there to Glenn Bell running it in strong, but got tackling by St Helens. Glenn Bell there losing the ball. So it's Shane Cooper now, that's the second tackle. So it's Fatty Vorting going from acting half-back. That's the third tackle. This is good tackling by Rovers. They must come back. Tony Burt now is turned to run it in, still in captain the own 25-yard area. Referee hasn't put his hand up yet. That's the fourth tackle. Ball back there to Roy Haggerty, that big kick downfield. It's all on Danny Beach playing safety first, tapping it with his foot. Danny Beach running it in strong. Danny Beach, oh, that was a back tackle, was that? Derek Fox with the ball now to Peter Smith. Peter Smith there to Alan Banks. Alan Banks looking for his wingman, but Alan Banks having to turn back inside. Well, number 2 there, David Tanner, really roughing his opposite number up that time, but the referee on the touch just says play on, so it's Jeff Drake there to Paul Muller. Paul Muller throw the gap. Paul Muller on the run, cut it back inside. That's good play by Graham Stedman and Paul Muller. Graham Stedman sees Paul Muller got a better chance running than himself, giving him the ball. So it's Glenn Bell. What a tireless effort he's at putting this afternoon. Gets up, plays the ball to Derek Fox. Derek Fox straight in front of the stick, straight between the middle. Featherstone Rovers 13, St Helens 12. So there we go, another instance as a team breaking the rules there. The physio there, the St Helens coming on to give instructions to his players. That kick off there, brilliantly took there by Peter Smith. Nearly knocked him home, but he kept hold of that ball. That's how well these players have played this afternoon. Every man jack of them have played to win this game this afternoon. They're players if they wanted to win. Paul Hughes there being dragged out back by 2 tacklers there. Paul Vorting, Roy Haggerty. Paul Hughes getting up to play the ball, getting up very slowly indeed. So it's Jeff Grayson looking for runners inside him, but taking 2 men to tackle him. Stuart Evans there and Shane Cooper. So it's Graham Stedman now, Platty now, back now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox, that long ball out there to Peter Smith. Peter Smith trying to go down the middle, gets rid of the ball in the tackle. Alan Banks with the ball, it's all on. So it's Derek Fox with the ball now, back there to Graham Stedman. Graham Stedman, that long kick downfield, but that ball just bouncing nicely. Oh, Phil Vevers just stopped that ball brilliantly. He's had a fine game at fullback as this Phil Vevers. Ian Smells there tackling there. Les Quirk on the opposite side of the field. So it's St Helens' turn with the ball now. 5 yards inside their own after Vince. Sheldon Cooper now to Paul Laughlin. Paul Laughlin trying to go down the middle, but gut tack. Featherstone Rovers tackling once again. Featherstone Rovers 13. St Helens 12. Neil holding with the ball, trying to go down the middle, but Glenn Bell there on the top. You just can't see who's underneath. It's that man once again, Peter Smith, round the boat laces. It's Paul Groves going from acting half-back. Paul Groves very darting there. So it's Jeff Grayson dropping on that loose ball. So that's 6 more for Featherstone Rovers. Graham Stedman with the ball now. Graham Stedman there to Paul Newell. Paul Newell beating one man. Paul Newell still going. Tackle 10 yards inside his own half of the field. Dwyer just finally tapping his ankle. So it's Derek Fox with the ball now to Chris Burton. Chris Burton being rested to the ground there by St Helens, number 13 there. Paul Vorting, Trevor Clark from acting half-back now to Derek Fox, back to Derek Fox there. Derek Fox through the gap. It's all on. Referee's playing advantage. Derek Fox taking Phil Vevers on. It's all on. Just couldn't get up to play the ball. But everybody saw Jeff Grayson there being tackled without the ball.
Lewis coming up here. Look here. He's here again. He shouldn't be on him. He holds him and finds him, Jeff Grayson.
So there again, after all that drama there, penalty to Featherstone Rovers for that tackle on Jeff Grayson, and number 10 there going to the sin bin, Stuart Evans.
Featherstone Rovers, number 15 Carl Harrison replaces number 12 Paul Hughes.
And Paul Yode's getting a big round of ovation from this Featherstone Rovers crowd. Had a fine game this afternoon in the second row, and Carl Allison making the substitutes. So it's a penalty kick to Graham Stedman there. So St Helens a man down. Featherstone Rovers leading by that solitary drop goal there by Derek Fox by 13 points to 12. That 13 minutes left for play in this match. Back inside there, Carl Allison, first touch of the ball. I'm sure Peter Fox will have given his instructions. So it's Derek Fox with the ball now, changing direction. What a fine game he's had this afternoon also. But Derek Fox there, just tackled there by Tony Burke. That last ditch tackle. Now it's Jeff Grayson going down the middle, looking for another. There's another drop goal on the cards here. This game's going to be won by these little pointers. Derek Fox there, where's he going? To the side of the post this time.
Down to 12 minutes, making a run for 6 tackles.
So it's Paul Groves that tap out. It's Roy Haggerty running down the middle, but Roy Haggerty there met by two Featherstone Rovers tacklers. Chris Burton one of them, Trevor Clark the other. So it's Paul Groves once again now to Paul Vortin, but Paul Vortin easily tackled there by Trevor Clark. 12 minutes left for play in this game. It's still Featherstone Rovers hanging on by 13 points to 12. Sean Cooper, that little kick over. It's Brilliant back here. Brilliantly took that by Chris Pitt. Chris Pitt beating 2 men, still going. But that was a good move by St Helens there. Michael O'Connor through the gap front. That Sean Cooper kick out there, but Peter Smith with the ball. Featherstone Rovers now to Alan Banks. Alan Banks has got to just straighten things up now. Alan Banks there. It's all on, but Ian Smells there just running into touch. But like I just said, that little kick through there by Sean Cooper. Wait, a well-worked move. Michael O'Connor onto that ball like a flash. And they kick the ball straight to Chris Bibb's hands. So the ball's in its hat to Neil Holding to Shane Cooper to Paul O'Loughlin to Shane Cooper to Phil Beavers. Phil Beavers in the line. Back inside there to O'Connor, but O'Connor brilliantly took there by Paul Newlove. So it's Paul Vortin with the ball now. Paul Vortin going down the middle, but once again that Paul Newlove, 3 tackles on the trot there. That's good play by the youngster, so it's still St Helens trying to go down the middle. Roy Haggerty getting rid of the ball. Roy Haggerty still going, fighting out of tackles. And once again, Paul Newlove there, 3 tackles on the trot. And what's he doing? Just bouncing on that loose ball. What a fine game Paul Newlove's having in the centre this afternoon. Score of a try at some marvellous runs. That's some fantastic tackling to do, and he's done it well. So the ball back inside there to Chris Burton. So it's Featherstone Rovers on the halfway line, leading by 13 points to 12. Trevor Clark with the ball now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox switching play now to Jeff Grayson. But that ball just hanging in the air that little bit. Jeff Grayson there just willing just to die with that ball. Just couldn't get his pass out. So it's Glenn Bell. Glenn Bell just having to check his stride. Roy Haggerty there just waiting to put one in, but the ball was already dead. So it's Graham Stedman with a kick now. Graham Stedman, that big kick, testing Phil Beavers out, but they'll test him out all day. He'll take them all day, will this fullback. So it's Alan Banks there, brilliant tackle on Phil Beavers that time. So it's St Helens now trying to bring the ball out of the own half the field, but Alan Banks makes another tackle. That's to his mid. So it's Shane Cooper now trying to link up. Neil Holding, long ball out there. So it's Michael O'Connor going down the middle. Beautiful tackle that by Paul Newlove. Absolutely fantastic that tackle. Michael O'Connor looked to try score all the way that, but Paul Newlove just got him by the shorts, just brought him out. And another good tackle there by Peter Smith. St Helens really throwing this ball about now. Already got a man short, it's all on. Who's going for the ball? Nobody seemed to want to go down for that ball. Graham Stedman meditates. So it's Peter Smith now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox trying to go down the middle. Had a fine game this afternoon as Derek Fox in the scrum half position. So it's Trevor Clark now. Trevor Clark now to Carl Allison. Carl Allison back inside there to Trevor Clark. That's good stuff by Featherstone Rovers. Good backing up there by Trevor Clark. So it's Paul Newlove now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox, long ball out there to Graham Stedman there to Peter Smith. So once again, Featherstone Rovers losing that ball in the tackle. St Helens back on the attack. It's still Featherstone Rovers 13, St Helens 12. St Helens still doing well, playing a man short, so it's Paul Vortin trying to straighten things up. This is where St Helens usually come good in the last 10 or 15 minutes of play. Now it's Tony Burke going down the middle. Tony Burke going down the middle, still going. Number 13 there, Paul Vortin's trying to go towards that try line, but got tackling there by Carl Harrison and Chris Burton, stopping that movement. So it's Neil Holding with the ball out, long ball out there, Roy Haggerty going through the middle, back inside, that's a good ball. That's good play. Who's got the ball? Featherstone Rovers, Peter Smith. That was absolutely fantastic defence by Featherstone Rovers, stopping that ball. So it's Trevor Clark now going from acting half-back. Just wants calming things down. Ball down here, Teddy. Look down here. Fox is telling him no. It's too late now. Fox is telling him that. So it's Carl Harrison being caught at his own 25-yard line. All it wanted was a big boot downfield. There was plenty of space at the back. But the ball back now to Graham Stemmen, that big kick downfield, but it's straight downfield. Beavers has thrown. No, the ball's beat him in the air. The flight beat him that time. He put his arms out for him, but to no avail. Trying to turn round in the tackle, but them two, that centre partnership, wing partnership there, Alan Banks and Ian Smales making the tackle. It's up to them to keep him up there. Ian Smales making the tackle. St Helens now, that's the second tackle. Sean Cooper there trying to get his three-quarters moving now. Roy Haggerty with the ball. Roy Haggerty trying to throw one hand pass out. His old man them. But beautiful tackle by Jeff Grayson. Gets a good one-hand pass in. This is good stuff here at Post Office Road. Number 2 there, David Tanner. Quick play the ball now to Sean Cooper. Sean Cooper taking the defence on. That's the fourth tackle. Plays the ball back. It's all on. He's going down the field. Michael O'Connor kicks the ball through. Has he scored? No, he hasn't scored the try. That just to show you what a brilliant opportunity this Australian centre wing man is, Michael O'Connor. Took the Featherstone Rovers defence on that little kick through, and I think it was Alan Banks who just got back to kick that ball dead. So St Helens a man short at this moment, putting all the pressure on this Featherstone Rovers defence. It's still Featherstone Rovers 13, St Helens 12. And Alec Murphy making a substitution. Number 15, John Harrison coming on. And number 9, Paul Groves coming off for St Helens. He looks very reluctant to come off, but at least it is coming off. So it's Graham Stemmen, that big kick downfield. Phil Beavers underneath it. Everybody wanted him on the Featherstone Rovers side to knock that ball on, but he never took his eye off the ball, the St Helens fullback. So once again, the ball's back in Featherstone Rovers half of the field. It's still Neil Holding trying to go from acting half-back. Neil Holding gets a good ball out there to Paul Vortin there to Dwyer. But beautiful tackle there by number 10 there, Glenn Bell making the tackle. Plays the ball back to Paul Vortin. Paul Vortin going down the middle. But Glenn Bell making another tackle. Listen to the St Helens draw now. Just a point separating the team. Sean Cooper still going back inside. It's all St Helens pressure now to Harrison with the ball. First touch of the ball, nearly a try for Harrison. Quick play of the ball. What's happened here? Touch judging seen an infringement that time. Touch judge there seeing an infringement by the St Helens player, so it's a penalty to Featherstone Rovers. 4 minutes left for play in this match. It's still Featherstone Rovers 13, St Helens 12. So what a final 4 minutes we're in for this afternoon. James Denman placing that ball, kicking the ball over the stand, and Stuart Evans coming back onto the field. So both teams now back to 13 men when he comes back onto the field. He's just on the touchline. This is number 10 for St Helens, but it's Featherstone Rovers. That's the first tackle. 2 yards inside their own half of the field. Derek Fox with the ball now to Carl Harrison. Carl Harrison being tackled there. Roy Haggerty, number 12, one of them. And Paul Vortin in the last 3 minutes now. So it's Jeff Grayson trying to go down the middle. Jeff Grayson still going. That's the third tackle. So it's Trevor Clark now back inside there to Derek Fox. Derek Fox, that long ball out there to Peter Smith. Peter Smith there being tackled there by St Helens number 8 there, Tony Burke. So it's Trevor Clark now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox, that long ball out there now to Alan Banks. Alan Banks having to cut back inside. The game's all on, the game's still alive. Glenn Bell with the ball, trying to move him. But that must be the last tackle. So what's Featherstone going to conjure up now? Graham Stemman with the ball. Graham Stemman, that drop kick there. So the ball just missing that upright there, so it'll be a tap out. Featherstone Rovers got to get the defence organised now. It's up to St Helens to get down this field to see if they can get a draw out of this game. So it's Harrison with the ball now. He's going nowhere. Glenn Bell makes sure he goes to the turf. Well, what a final last 2 minutes we're in for now this afternoon. Neil owning the ball. Nobody leaving this ground this afternoon. That long ball out there, it's a knock on. But Danny Beach drops on that ball for Featherstone Rovers. So it's Paul Newlove now to Carl Allison. Carl Allison running it in strong. That's a good strong run there. The Rovers number 15. So it's Trevor Clark now to Derek Fox. Derek Fox, he'll take the tackle. 1 3/4 minutes left for play. Chris Burton, he'll take the tackle. That's good tackling that by Des Harrison, but that's good play also by Chris Burton, knowing there's some seconds ticking away. So it's Jeff Grayson now to Graham Stemman. Graham Stemman, can we have a bit of magic from the Featherstone Rovers standoff half, fighting out to tackles. So it's Derek Fox with that drop goal attempt. Where's the ball going? Just wide of that post.
Attention please, the Featherstone Rovers player of the match, which is today.
So it's St Helens.
William Youngers at the Green Bottle Hotel, Nottingham, goes to number 4, Paul Newlove.
So it's Neil Holding with the ball now. Neil Holding running that quick. Neil Holding still going. Oh, that one is an interception there by Paul Newlove. That nearly paid dividends. But once again, Roy Haggerty just making a last-ditch tackle. Kelby making a last-ditch tackle round his neck. So that's... And Paul Newlove, there's this Carl Allison throw tackles. Back inside there to Trevor Clark. Trevor Clark tackle 10 yards short of that line. And Paul Newlove there been adjudged the man of the match for Featherstone Rovers this afternoon. But I'm sure Paul will agree with me, and he's had a fine game, as Paul, that every man Jack of Featherstone Rovers could have got that man of the match this afternoon.
20 seconds.
20 seconds left for play on this match now. Derek Fox with the ball. Derek Fox moving to his left, moving to his right. Graham Stemmer taking the defence on to Alan Banks. Alan Banks there taking his man on. Alan Banks still going. That looked an head-high tackle, that. And the referee there cautioning. It's all of it, it's all of it, it's all of it.
Huey!
Time. So the time's up on the altar. It's just got to play these last tackles out. Glenn Bell with that tap penalty. And there goes the final score here from Post Office Road. And what a marvellous exhibition this Featherstone Rovers team put up this afternoon.
And you can see this match again on Thursday night in the Rovers clubhouse. Well played, Featherstone Rovers. Give the lads a big hand.
And there we go. You just heard it all from Tenny Mullaney from the public relations system. And just listen to this crowd. Featherstone Rovers battle again. All the odds. Everything seemed to go against them in the first half, but they battled strongly to the final whistle. Good discipline, good tackling, good backing up. That drop goal there by Derek Fox. 2 penalty goals, Graham Stemman, Trevor Clark a try and Paul Newlove a try. Against Paul Laughlin, 2 goals, Les Quirk a try and Stuart Evans a try. And what a fantastic rip-on. Look at this crowd here just standing up to Featherstone Rovers. Peter Smith there, Glenn Bell, another outstanding player this afternoon. Every one of these Featherstone Rovers players played the arts out this afternoon. A good, well-earned 2 points. Fantastic win. So we'll leave it here from Paul Stevens Hall. Featherstone Rovers 13, St Helens 12.